Daryl Hannah, born December 3, 1960, is an American actress, director, and environmental activist best known for iconic screen roles ranging from the replicant Pre in Blade Runner to the Mermaid Madison in Splash and the assassin Elle Driver in Kill Bill. Below are two single-text biography scripts, English and Spanish, written to play like continuous 8 to 10-minute narrations, with a clear arc from early life to career peaks, later work, and activism. Daryl Hannah was born on December 3, 1960, in Chicago, Illinois, and would grow into one of the most recognizable screen presences of late 20th century American film, an actress whose career became defined not only by striking, unconventional characters, but also by a real-life commitment to environmental and social causes. Her family background placed her close to both everyday Midwestern life and the creative orbit of filmmaking. Her mother, Susan Jean Metzger, worked as a producer and was previously a schoolteacher. Her father, Donald Christian Hannah, owned a tugboat and barge company, and after her parents divorced, her mother married businessman Gerald Wexler, the brother of famed cinematographer Haskell Wexler. Hannah grew up in Long Grove, Illinois, in a large family that included her siblings Don and Paige Hannah, plus her maternal half-sister Tanya Wexler. She was raised Roman Catholic, while her stepfather was Jewish, a mix of influences that sat alongside something she has described as an emotionally difficult childhood marked by shyness and isolation. Movies became both fascination and refuge early on, partly because Hannah dealt with insomnia. Yet school and social life were difficult, and as a child she was diagnosed with autism, with medical professionals at the time urging institutionalization and medication. Instead, her mother made a very different choice, temporarily relocating with her to Jamaica, hoping that a change in environment could help her stabilize and grow. Back in the United States, Hannah attended Chicago's progressive Francis W. Parker School before moving to Los Angeles to study ballet and acting at the University of Southern California, laying the foundation for a career that would blend physical performance with an often quiet, intense on-screen magnetism. Hannah's film career began young. She made her screen debut at 17 in Brian De Palma's 1978 horror film The Fury, a first step that soon led into the kind of roles that would shape her image, characters who seemed at once dreamy and dangerous. The turning point arrived in 1982, when she played Pre, the acrobatic replicant in Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, performing some of her own gymnastic stunts and helping cement the film's enduring visual mythology. In that same year, she appeared in Summer Lovers, showing that her appeal wasn't limited to science fiction, but could carry romantic drama as well. Then, in 1984, mainstream fame hit with Splash, Ron Howard's fantasy comedy, in which Hannah played Madison the Mermaid opposite Tom Hanks, an instantly iconic role that brought her widespread recognition and helped define 1980s pop cinema nostalgia. The mid to late 1980s kept her constantly on major sets. She appeared in films like The Clan of the Cave Bear and Legal Eagles, and she was part of Oliver Stone's Oscar-winning Wall Street in 1987, a period when she alternated between leading roles, ensemble pieces, and projects that tested how Hollywood framed her as both a glamour figure and serious performer. That same year, she starred in Roxanne, a modern retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac, and rounded out the decade with notable appearances in Woody Allen's Crimes and Misdemeanors and the ensemble drama Steel Magnolias. The 1990s brought a mix of studio films and television work, including roles in the grumpy old men comedies and the TV remake Attack of the 50 Feet Woman, as her career expanded into a wider range of formats and genres. In the early 2000s, Hannah added a new dimension: theater. In 2000, she took on the role made famous by Marilyn Monroe in The 7-Year Itch in London's West End, an important stage chapter that underscored her versatility beyond film and television. But for many audiences, the most high-profile reinvention came with Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. Hannah played Elle Driver in Kill Bill, Volume 1, 2003, and Kill Bill, Volume 2, 2004, delivering a stylized, memorable villain performance that put her back into the center of popular film conversation. Later, she continued working steadily in screen projects while also leaning into roles behind the camera, writing, directing, and producing, most visibly in works connected to musician Neil Young, including Paradox, 2018, which she wrote and produced and which featured Young. Television also introduced her to a new generation of viewers. Beginning in 2015, Hannah portrayed Angelica touring in Netflix's Sense8, appearing across the show's run through its 2018 finale release and later. She appeared in the Now 2021. Her directing work and music film involvement continued as well. She was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Music Film for Neil Young and Crazy Horses, A Band, A Brotherhood, A Barn, 2023, and in 2025, she directed the documentary Coastal, described as a behind-the-scenes look at Neil Young's Coastal concert tour. Outside acting, Hannah became widely known for environmental activism that is practical, public, and sometimes confrontational. She created a weekly video blog called DH Love Life, focused on sustainable solutions and often handled production roles herself, reflecting a hands-on approach rather than a purely celebrity one. Her personal lifestyle choices were often presented as part of the message. As of 2006, her home was built with green materials and ran on solar power. She drove a biodiesel car, and she has been a vegetarian since age 11, later becoming vegan. She also repeatedly engaged in civil disobedience, including being arrested in 2006 during protests related to the South Central Farm in Los Angeles, in 2009 at a protest against mountaintop removal in West Virginia, and in 2011 and 2013 during demonstrations connected to opposition to the Keystone Pipeline. Her activism extended to media, too. She served as executive producer of the 2012 documentary Greedy Lying Bastards, which aimed climate change denial. On the personal side, Hannah's life has intersected with major public narratives in entertainment. She had long-term relationships with John F. Kennedy Jr. and musician Jackson Browne, and she began a relationship with Neil Young in 2014 before marrying him in 2018. In later years, she was also among the women who brought allegations against Harvey Weinstein, describing sexual harassment and its impact on her career opportunities after Kill Bill. Taken as a whole, Daryl Hannah's story isn't just about a sequence of roles. It's about a performer who moved between cult classic and mainstream hit, between acting and directing, and between Hollywood visibility and activist risk, building a public identity defined as much by conviction as by celebrity.